All right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here to listen to my speech. I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to talk about my favorite animal and a situation that is actually really near and dear to my heart and very important to me. But first I'd like to start with a question. What is it that makes us human? This is a question that has puzzled human beings since the dawn of time when we started thinking about civilization. Different cultures have developed different answers, but we've yet to come up with a universal truth. Is it our emotions, our intelligence, our culture, our language, or our morals? Well, what if there was another creature that possessed all these traits? There are several, in fact, but today I'd like to talk about one in particular, Oceanus orcas, also known as the killer whale. I'm going to illustrate how orcas, in fact, display human levels of intelligence through their cultures, communication, and family systems. Right now, we know of three types of killer whale pods: transients, residentials, offshores. And each of these different types of pods have their own cultures and habits. They do not interbreed. They choose not to breed with one another, which is something only seen in intelligent animal species. Transients are the ones that are kind of our stereotypical image of the killer whale. They eat seals. They travel. They're actually completely silent. They don't do the squeaks and hoots that we come to know with whales. And they can also disappear and then reappear suddenly. One whale, T61, vanished from researchers for 13 years before reappearing suddenly and has been back ever since. They're also the meat eaters of the different types of pods. And then we have residentials who eat fish and migrate, but predictably. They follow the same patterns. They don't just wander like transients do. And then the offshores live in one place as a small family. Orcas communicate using a variety of sounds and dialects, which vary pod to pod and type to type. Their language varies with their culture. Using this language, they communicate with hunting. They talk to each other to orchestrate intricate plans. They also communicate after long periods of time apart. They will meet up and the babies will go and play with each other and the females will flock together and chirp and hoot for hours as if talking. They also have specific names given to them by their mother that they then carry with them the rest of their lives, and other whales refer to them as these names. All 19 British Columbia pods have their own dialect. They have their own language that they speak in with very little overlap. Killer whales also have attempted communication with humans. Oftentimes it's when they need help. They are aware that we possess abilities to help them. When one of their counterparts is beached, when there is a baby that needs help or is injured, they'll often go to human fishing vessels and nudge and try to get their attention. They're also been known to show off and act more sprightly and large when they're aware that humans are watching. Orcas also have the ability to mimic and learn sounds, which is something all dolphins possess. A biologist, John Ford, is someone who studies orca communication, and his comment was that they actually have vocal traditions that are passed down through cultural transmission. And again, this is something that only is present in intelligent animal species. Another way that orcas demonstrate their intelligence is through their family systems and through the act of playing. Play is something that animals who are intelligent need to do. It helps them learn, it helps them blow off steam, it helps them develop their brain systems. Orca families really take care of one another. They share food 75% of the time. They will split up a kill if two whales are together and starving, which unfortunately has happened when they've been in captivity. They will take the food they have and split it rather than fighting for it. The orcas also will take care of their elders to the point where some killer whales have been known to live over 80 years. Life after menopause like this only exists in animal communities where the elders are taken care of and looked after, and when they play a role in teaching and taking care of the youngsters. building on this thought, orphans are also well cared for. Oftentimes, if a mother dies in childbirth, an older sibling will take the child under its care. Um, Orcas also all participate in teaching one another, particularly in hunting skills. The mothers will take the baby whales to empty beaches and have them practice beaching themselves and then getting back into the water. So when they have to do this to capture seals, they'll be ready. And after practicing this on the empty beaches, they'll then take them to practice with actual seals. Or sometimes they'll stun a seagull who's floating over the water and, much like a cat, lets their children play with it and practice. Professor Kim Balcom is an individual who counts whales on Vancouver Island, killer whales, and he has seen a killer whale playing with a feather, a huge, massive, heavy animal with a delicacy to play with a feather and puff it up and down and chase after it. Psychiatrist Sterling Bunnell, speaking in the book Beyond Words by Safina, identified that play is a hallmark of intelligence and indispensable for creativity. And that creativity, that ability to create a world and thoughts and creation, is another benchmark of intelligence. Another important point to make is that the social brain is a smart brain. We as humans are social creatures, so are chimps. Elephants, all of us, we're all social creatures, and that social bond is needed when you're a who, not a what, when individuals matter. Scientist Patrick Hoff studies the presence of spindle cells in whale brains, and spindle cells are something that we've also found only in intelligent species. They're a specific type of cell that exists in our brain. And he says, it's absolutely clear to me that these are extremely intelligent animals and have evolved social networks similar to those of apes and humans. So knowing about all this is very important because there are still a lot of things that are happening to orcas out in the wild. They're suffering from military testing of weapons over the ocean that leaves their eardrums blown out until they hemorrhage and drown. They're still being held in captivity despite the 2011 Blackfish film that brought awareness to their struggle. Learning about orcas and their intelligence was one of the key factors in motivating me to pursue animal law. It's very important to me to work to protect these intelligent animals who have individual cultures, languages, and families just like we do. I really hope you've all enjoyed listening to me talk about it and learning a little bit more about these animals. And if you do want to know more info, I highly recommend the book Beyond Worlds by Safina. Thank you so much.